This is the lower Konyak region of Nagaland. Once upon a time, it was divided into 8 independent circles, each dominated by a very powerful chief. He was a member of the old ruling Ang clan, the overlord of several small villages. The main villages of the great Anghs are Jaboka, Shangnu, Totok, Longwa, Tang, Chui, and Mon, spread out on the mountain spurs at 400 to 600 meters. Although every subjugated village has its own small Ang, its inhabitants have to pay tribute to the big Ang of the main village. The tribute consists of a fixed part of a crop from every household. This is the old Mon village. Here autocratic chiefs had ruled for a long time. Mon has always been the seat of famous chiefly houses, which dominated a large number of villages. I am the deputy Ang Yangpong. My father Lawong was the brother of the great Ang Koba. That does not mean I don't have the pure undiluted blood running in my veins. I am a genuine aristocrat in the Konyak society. My 2 wives come from the royal house of Tang and Chui. My principal wife from Chui is around with my other 4 secondary wives. It doesn't make sense to have too many secondary wives these days. Moreover, it is not easy to raise lots of children. Mon Anghs had power over the life and death of their subjects. Today, however, such drastic retribution is not acceptable, as the pattern of authority is changed. The last Ang Koba had the reputation of being the most powerful ruler and a courageous war leader. In his youth, he took his warriors right into the plains. These heroic exploits are engraved here in this long row of horizontal lines of upright stones set in front of his house. Sadly, the house here is no more. The old Ang Koba ruled over his dominion for 40 years. Koba had many children, and my friend here is one of them. He is the son of one of his secondary wives, so he is a smaller Ang. When he fell ill, he renounced his throne in favor of his eldest son, Yang Mao. His son, Alung, was also a strong ruler till his death. The armed struggle group of Nagaland assassinated him in 1982. After the passing of the great Ang Alung, no one has been able to replace him from the house of the great chief. I took over the affairs of the great Ang Alung because his son proved to be irresponsible. Besides being young, the entire community and the Ang clan decided that I be in charge until the house of the great Ang produces someone who is able. The town of Mon is named after our village. The entire land for township was contributed by the great Ang of Mon and Chui, the equally famous neighbor of Mon, to create a new headquarters for the administration of Konyak areas during statehood. For many generations, the chief of Mon and Chui were at war with each other. In every raid, so many people lost their lives and were threatened with extinction. had not the two ruling families entered into a permanent close marriage alliance. By this, permanent peace was secured. The great Ang of Mon at that time offered the great Ang of Chui, his eldest daughter, Mashim, in marriage to his second son, Lopang, who was already a young hero. Mon, greatest of all villages, with the shells of the ears, with the drums of the ears, hear, O hear our song, O villages, O commoners, O chieftains, hear our song. O, since earth, water, and rocks existed, we are the great sons. O, may the boys be healthy, may they live together united. I went to school for a day only. The Ang clan discourages us to go to school because it meant adopting a different culture and lifestyle. When Christianity came, the house of the great Ang was very much against it. People thought that being Christians meant being educated and having a better standard of living. A lot of people gave up their religion without becoming proper Christians. I was all for it, and I feel it had made me a better person. Christianity was introduced only after the end of British rule by the American Baptist missionaries. I love going to church every Sunday. The village church is just across my house. My wives make it a point to offer vegetables and fruits as offerings. We usually have a small congregation, and we are exhorted every Sunday to live a clean, honest lives and be God-fearing. The festival Owling is here, and we compose a song or two. It is also time to share whatever we have. This is the traditional musical instrument of the Cognacs, and our women love to play on it. Sometimes my friends come over, and I, along with my wives, practice some steps. Though we have abandoned many social customs, we can never forget how to sing and dance. Today I'm also the village council chairman, although it is not hereditary. In accordance with the administrative system common to all parts of Nagaland, each village has a village council which consists of nominees from the Morung appointed by the Deputy Commissioner of Mon. Each village council elects one representative to the area council. The area council, in turn, elects from among its members of district regional council on the basis of one representative for a population of 5,000. With so much advancement these days, our younger generations are no longer confined to their villages. Their interest in and loyalty to the Morung community is diminishing. The Murung's role as an educational institution has also declined. Despite changes in our political outlook and religious beliefs and practice, our daily lives remain similar to what it was generations ago. We still do our farming in slash and burn methods. Government of India has provided funds to encourage forestry, horticulture, tea gardens, and even tourism. I frequently have visitors from all parts of the world. Sometimes their queries irk me. They photograph me, which I don't mind at all. I love posing for them.
As the crow flies, about 10 kilometers away from Mon town is my village Chui. Like any Naga village, it is nestled on top of a rocky mountain and was once very strong and feared. Gone are the trophies of war, and what we now have is only the remnants of yesterday. The animal skulls and Mithun heads on my porch are remembrances of the feasts I had given in keeping with my position as an Angh. Once, on my sacred slab of stone, we laid the captured heads of our enemies, brought in from war, and performed our rituals. I am Ang Wang Kao of Chui, and I believe I am one of the greatest Anghs still alive. My house indicates my high rank. Unlike our old houses, this one is made of cement, bricks, and has a tin roof. It is completely different from any other Angh's house. My sons have helped me build this house with hired help from the plains. Like the olden days, we did not involve the whole community, as it is not easy to summon villages under my domain. It proves expensive for me, and for them also. We are still retaining the Mithun heads and the elephant skull, though. I am the first among the Konyak Anghs to embrace Christianity. Just across my house, Yanyam, my son, is busy in the construction of a new church. He is also the church secretary. This is my court, and my deputies and subjects sit around me. My throne is held sacred. No one approaches the place where I sit. During my father's time and before, no commoner will dare approach the great Angh in an upright manner. They can converse with me while seated on a lower platform. Important meetings are always held here in my court, and my subjects are usually from the Angh clan, who are also members of the village council, village development board, and the church. Sometimes we like to compare our headgears made of cane to make sure we stick to the original designs. These days, we hardly get good, genuine materials, like boar's tusks, goat's hair dyed red, monkey and bear fur, and great hornbill feathers. The number of hornbill feathers on the hat indicates who belongs to Greater Ang clan, a smaller Ang, or a commoner. Tea is always served strong, and I always drink from my royal brass cup. I carry it with me wherever I go. I prefer to wear traditional costumes, and I always hold my head high. Out of compulsion, I wear certain modern clothes with touches of cognac designs, but the blue beads tied around my legs are mandatory. I am taking a trip to Mon town today to meet the Deputy Commissioner. I have an important appointment with him regarding the Silver Jubilee celebration of Mon town, and also to discuss with him the water supply system of the village. I am not too fond of going out of my village, but if there are matters needing to be sorted out, I go, because people still consider what I say. Even government officials know that I am a person who cannot be ignored, because villagers still look up to me as their great chief, besides being an elder. As we move ahead with the times, I realize that we, the great Anghs, still have a role to play in spite of all the changes that have come about. A larger portion of Mon town has been contributed by my village, Chui. I am also a member in the town planning committee. Besides the others who accompany me on my trips, one of my sons, Yan Yan, often acts as my interpreter. In the British era, we called the person in the post of Deputy Commissioner as the Great Sahib, and he often acted as a mediator in settling our long drawn-out tribal feuds. The Deputy Commissioner is well respected, and he also gives me due regard. The government of Nagaland and the administrative setup in Mon has contributed much to the development of the Konyak people. I express my concern about the delay of the village water supply project. The DC assures me that a certain amount has been sanctioned for Chui village. I also express my joy at the forthcoming celebrations to mark the 25 years of the township of Mon, which is going to be held in my lifetime.
Thank you.
I often like to visit this college. It is named after me, the great Ang Wang Kao of Chui. I donated 80 acres of land for the development of this college. I dream of a better educated Konyak society. In the past, our young boys and girls had to go outside Mon, to main towns like Kohima, Dimapur, or even outside the state of Nagaland for further studies. Even I had to send my own children outside, and it proved very expensive. I want the younger generations to do well in life and improve our society. There are so many things happening all around that I want the future generation to be able to choose what is good. As we return to my village, I ponder on the village developmental activities. The government of India has done much, but there is still a lot to be done. With the suppression of feuds and headhunting in the 1930s, our people have enjoyed greater security and our population has also increased. Besides that, we have better medicinal facilities and healthcare system. Life is actually easier today compared to the olden days, as we now have schools, electricity, and better roads. But along with modern advancement, there are disadvantages too. There is alcoholism, drug abuse, and unemployment. My principal wife is somewhere around the house looking after my grandchildren. My secondary wives hardly go out to the fields, but they at times do a little bit of gardening in the courtyard. I'm back in court, but I plan to take a trip to a neighboring town to act as chief guest for an important function. I was the chief guest for the celebration of Naga's 90, a cultural event in Kohima. During that event, I had expressed my views that all Nagas need to unite in peace. It's time we stopped killing each other. I also attended the inaugural function on the 1st of December 1963, when Nagaland attained statehood. I had good relations with those who were then in office. In the past, the Ang was the supreme head of the community, besides being considered as divine, possessing tiger spirit. It was his responsibility to keep his territory prosperous, peaceful, and powerful. There's no doubt that power and prestige has now gone into the hands of those Nagas who are educated and are holding positions in the government. But they do treat us, the great Anghs, with courtesy and consideration. The institution of great chiefs has undergone so much change, but still, we persist under changed political conditions. We retain part of our wealth and privileges, and the present generation of villagers still pays respect to the great Anghs, not only in recognition of our inherited status as men of purest aristocratic blood, but also for the positive contributions made to the society by the institution of the great Ang, which has ensured stability and a smooth transition for this tribal society into the modern age. If the government wants stability, Anghs should be supported. Sometimes I send letters to the Chief Minister of Nagaland to consider certain matters on behalf of other Naga areas. My sons are educated, and they help me in drafting letters besides acting as my advisors. Communication is at least easy these days. We have a telephone connection with other villages, through which we can talk to our relatives, summon meetings, and send information during emergencies. I can also view the world outside my village through the television. Times have eroded the authority of the great chiefs, but there is no doubt that I remain a great Ang, as the pure, undiluted royal blood still runs in my veins.
Hey!